Alright, I made it to this kind of mountain clearing. I think the climb is just about over for today. I'm just about 2 miles in, and so I think Half Dome should be only, or Half Dome, hey, El Cap should only be about 2 miles away, but the most of the climbing is done. So it's 9:05. Still haven't had phone service, so I actually have my signal searching just in case I get a sliver, so that I can try to send out a text and just let people know that I'm alright. It's interesting how like unnerving that feels. This place is really, really incredible though. So I figured I'd stop and get a few ounces of water and eat a Quest bar and update the log. It's very, very quiet here, except you hear a lot of planes. I'm probably about a mile, maybe a half a mile from El Cap, but I just found some running water, so I'm gonna sit here and pump up, just kind of restock my water supply. I feel super grateful right now. All right, so it's been a good day. It is 12:17, and I finished the hike. It ended up being about 1,300 feet up total today, which is more than I was expecting. So probably puts my total climbing both days to about, math is hard for some reason, 1,800 feet, almost 2,000. And that's good. I mean, it's slow going, but we did it. So I'm gonna spend a few hours up here. Let me show you the view. Just a casual look at Half Dome. No big deal. So I'm gonna spend some time up here for a couple hours, and over that way, probably 50 yards is like a $3,000 or 3,000 foot drop, and I don't really have any desire to see it, because ultimately, like, I want to go home at some point and live my life. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good. This would be a way to go out. But the view is something else. It also kind of lets me scout out what I want to do before my time here in Yosemite is done. You know, I'm looking over at Half Dome, and then there's a bigger peak beyond it called Cloud's Rest. I'll do a highlight. All right, so this is Half Dome. You go up that left-hand side. Apparently I'm like super shaky, but we keep going. So that peak right there is Cloud's Rest, which has an insane view of Half Dome. It's also a little easier of climb. There's only 2,000 feet of gain, where for the Half Dome climb you start at the valley floor, which is way down there, and you go up I think 4,400 feet, which would be over double what I did, and it kind of pooped me out. Granted, I wouldn't have all of my backpacking gear with me, so I'm probably going to put in for, well, haven't really decided. We'll see. Pretty much alone up on Half Dome, watching the sunset behind this mountain, and as soon as it does, I'm probably gonna go crawl up into bed. And by probably I mean actually crawl into bed. But just been kind of an outrageously good day sitting up on the mountain, and Half Dome is right there. Set up camp over there. I've apparently sweated some in this hat. I've also worn these sunglasses all day. Alright, so it's the morning of backpacking. Morning 2, I guess. Woke up and there's this beautiful sunrise over Yosemite Valley. Can't really see Half Dome very well, but it's bright already. I just started packing up camp, and once I do, I'm going to have one more cup of coffee, sit and enjoy it, and then hike the 8 miles back to my car. This has been good. has been good. I'm gonna try to intentionally align my spirit this morning, just to hear whatever God has for me out here. It stayed a lot warmer last night. I don't know if it's the difference in the base layer tops that I have. One is kind of meant for hunting, and then the other is kind of outdoors, merino wool. This thing right here. But I was like toasty all night, where the previous night I like had my sleeping bag cinched as far up as I could get, and like just trying to stay warm, where tonight was actually like slept with it unzipped a little, which is good. That's a good thing. So yeah, I'm gonna finish packing up camp, have a little more breakfast, have a cup of coffee, and get out on the trail. I will probably look to maybe do an update when I stop for a break halfway-ish, or maybe I'll stop back at the car. We'll see. So I just finished the hike from El Cap to, I believe I just hit the Ribbon Meadow. Let me just show you. So it's a pretty high point, maybe one of the highest points of this hike. But then, like, as you go this way, you kind of are just on a rolling downhill for a bit. But some people I met yesterday said they saw a few bears here, and I don't know if I want to see a bear or not. Hike is going well so far. I'm pretty sure that outside of the last 2 miles, that most of the rest of the hike, so I probably have another 5 miles before the footbridge, but that's pretty much all downhill. So I think I might take a quick breather up here and then carry on. Thanks for joining me. It's really kind of a breathtaking view that you didn't get a chance to see going up because you were too busy with your back to it. But just this rolling hill. Then you can see these foothills out in the back. Maybe not even foothills, maybe just mountains. All right, so it is Friday evening, and I've made it off of the trail. Actually, I made it off probably about 2, maybe 1:30. So it took about 5 hours to do the 8 miles. It was good. It was mostly downhill, but I was surprised by how slow I felt like I had to take even the downhill, just with old knee injury, lack of confidence around that, as well as just a heavy pack. I'm not somebody who's going to be able to sprint down. Wow, I am dirty. So I ended up just grabbing one of the last campsites that's at this Tamarack Creek campground. It was a good day. Kind of excited to have a night of, by the way, like, if you go out west, like, just religiously apply chapstick from the moment you start rolling, because these lips are abused, and I've been doing whatever I can. But back to this is the bear locker. So I have everything in there, and it's just nice to have that space. It also means that, like, tonight when I go to sleep, I'm gonna throw in some earplugs, and I'm just gonna sleep, and I'm not gonna worry about what's going on around me, because ultimately, like, we're doing just fine. I'd initially hoped to spend Saturday or Sunday doing a big day hike, and there's still the potential of that. I just know that I did 8 miles today, and it took about 5 hours, and so if I'm doubling that, which is the length of time for either Cloud's Rest or for Half Dome, if I double that, that's like nearly taking up all of the daylight hours, and I don't know if I really have the time for that, or I certainly don't want to hike in the dark. So what I'm thinking is Cloud's Rest is still a possibility. I'm going to see how my legs feel after tomorrow. But for tomorrow, I'm going to head into the valley, and I should be able to get a spot in the backpackers camping ground Apparently you're allowed to stay there like the day of, or like the day before your or your wilderness permit starts, and the day after. And so I'm gonna try to camp there, kind of spend the day in the valley. It's nice because it has cell signal, so I can communicate with people that I feel like need to be communicated with. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna do the Nevada Falls and the Vernal Falls trail, and then hike back to John Muir. So that'll probably be a 8-mile day hike, but I'm kind of excited to see what it feels like to just hike with the day pack and still have the poles and plenty of water and food. I either leave Yosemite tomorrow evening. Wait, no, I already said I'm camping in the valley tomorrow. So I'm either gonna leave Sunday morning or early Monday morning. It still remains to be seen. I have to figure out what route looks like it's going to be best. I was initially hoping to maybe go visit the redwoods just north of San Francisco. But I'm really intrigued by the sequoias, and so I might do just a detour down south. And I feel like traffic into San Francisco in the morning is going to be, it's going to be gnarly, but like, I feel like I'd rather not go all the way downtown. So we'll see. But I think the sun is just about to go down, and so it's time to get in that chariot. Later, guys. All right, it is the morning of, well, how many nights have I been out here? 3 nights of wilderness camping, and I'm just about to start a quick path or a trek, small day hike / morning hike / hour hike to a grove of giant sequoias. I saw a few sequoias on the trail up to El Cap, and they are spectacular, so I'm looking forward to this. Hey, so I just reached the grove of the sequoias, and I come around this corner, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh. That's because this tree happened. Whoa. That's probably about 10 to 12 feet wide. No. 20 to 30. And just ginormous. All right, so that was that. That was my 2019 Yosemite trip, and it's been kind of wild to sit with those clips almost a year from now and just kind of experience some of the emotions that were processing through me, and just you know, just the fears, and so I hope that you enjoyed it too. Hey, I'm gonna run one more clip as I kind of go, and I had to figure out, like, you know, my intention was to be out in the wilderness for like 3 or 4 nights, and I was only really out in the wilderness for 2, and I was kind of just thinking through that, and one of the big reasons is because I chose to end my backpacking trip on a weekend. And then so I entered Yosemite in October on a weekday at like 8 a.m. and so getting out of the trailhead and getting back into Yosemite during a weekend was just an experience that I hadn't seen before. And so I was also just very not prepared to fight the crowds, and so I kind of cut the trip short. And this clip here is definitely, it reinforced that, you know, if I had to pass like a mile's worth of a line, like it certainly stopped me from re-entering the park, because I was really looking to go visit a place called Mona Lake. But that's that. I'll stop rambling. Love you. Bye.